Good morning, Mallory. Did I say something funny?
Is today the day that we fight, Sam?
It is, in fact, not Tuesday. No.
What am I gonna do?
So, when we started this podcast, one of us was a massive Dandadan fan, and now I feel like I've lost my crown in that sense. You've made as many videos about Dandadan as I have. You've done a Dandadan cosplay. I'm a little intimidated, Miss Evil Eye.
Yeah, this is my gender-swapped Evil Eye, and now I'm the biggest Dandadan fan ever, and I own the trophy, and we got a lot of Dandadan to talk about in the back half of this episode, so I hope you're all very excited for me to make a lot of just kind of angry yelling and evil laughing for my favorite character. The most sinister
say, Mallory,
of eyes.
I wonder who your favorite character is. It's a mystery.
Yeah, this is also there was a thing we made kind of a promise about how much money I'm gonna spend on cosplay for this primary audio medium that people are not generally watching with their eyes, and I've broken all of those promises this week. This is me coming full circle on the random last minute Okarun lines that I did on my eyes in the first episode that cemented me as cosplaying every episode.
It's been a hell of a run, you know? A run on the banks, some could say.
They're running away with my hard-earned coin.
Well, Mallory, we're not here just to talk about Dandadan Season 2, even though we will be eventually. We're here to just catch up as friends, you know? Sitting across the bar from each other. The virtual, time-zoned bar. So, you know, what's new in your life?
Sam, What Happens Next is back. The webcomic sensation that I'm obsessed with, that I've made you read. I mean, you've read all of it at this point, but that I've made you discuss.
Apparently not. I didn't know it restarted.
At least twice on the podcast. But yeah, we've got a fresh 6 panels out. We're heating up for our new arc. We've got a regular release schedule. Previously Max Graves was pretty much just, whenever it's done, I'll just put it out type of energy. But, he's committed to every Monday. So obviously he's working independently as a webcomic artist. So we'll see how long that lasts. But I'm very excited. It's called Happy Birthday. We're focusing on Milo and Gage again. Returning to that whole, we're
everyone's
finally
favorite odd couple,
back.
you know?
Yeah, we finally looped back to our favorite little roommates, just kind of trying to make it work in the big city, or not very big city, but so we're excited to see where that goes. But obviously it takes a while, and I'm not gonna force you to read it until we get to the end of this chapter of our story. But
so what happens
good.
next, right? 5th episode of this podcast. And I believe it had only been a month since the final chapter at that point had finished when we read through it, and then I read ahead because I'm bad. And there's been crickets for 9 months now. I guess 8 months maybe. And so I'm glad to hear that it's back.
Yeah, no, I know it's a very consuming project, I think, whenever Max Graves, the artist, is making it, just in terms of the amount of work he's putting into it, and this is not a career mangaka. This is someone who has a full-time job that they're doing, and then is making as I guess a hobby or a side project, so
Well, there's
understandably
also, so much
it takes
writing
a
that
long time.
goes into it, right? And there's
Of course.
callbacks that are planned, at least in the scheduling release of the pages, months in advance.
Totally, yeah, no. So there's a whole machine that's being handled by a single person basically in that situation. So it will be a while probably before we discuss that on the podcast, but I guess it'll be happening sooner than I thought, and I'm glad that we already covered chapter 3 because we're gonna have to do chapter 4, like probably when we're getting closer to the end of this new chapter.
Have we not? We've done 4.
I'm misnumbering them. I'm misnumbering them because I always get it confused because like the first couple of chapters are so short. Like I just kind of blend them into one amalgam in my mind. But yeah, no, I guess chapter 6 is what we're starting now.
I gotcha.
So yeah.
Well, we're in terms of web-based kind of messed up media, I saw a movie a few days ago that I've been interested to talk to you about. This movie did not come out this year, but I happened to catch it in movie theaters because I guess the person who programs my local theater was a big fan of it. It's a movie from last year or maybe late 2023 called Red Rooms. Do you know what a red room is?
I know what a rage room is. Is it like
what
that?
What is a rage room?
It's where you go and break a bunch of, like, you're allowed to just break whatever you want.
Well, this is kind of like that, but there's a murder involved. This is
okay. It's a real murder. It's not fun outlet.
I mean, so my understanding is that the concept of a red room is like an internet urban legend, like dark web thing, and it's basically the idea of people paying to watch a live stream of someone murdering someone. Very twisted,
sick,
dark, messed up stuff, right? Yeah, no, great. Very fun for the whole family, right? This movie is about that kind of. It's about like a trial for someone who is alleged to have run one of these red rooms, and it's like the first person who's ever been on trial for this. And they have like all kinds of evidence that this person killed these 3 people, including like he's in the video, but you can only see his eyes, and it's they tell you that at the beginning of the movie, but you don't see it for a long time. And the movie doesn't really, it's not graphic or anything, like it doesn't show the actual torture, but it shows like the aftermath, and it's a spooky movie. It's more of like a thriller than a horror movie. But then who the movie's about is fascinating. It's not about this murderer. It's not about the people like prosecuting him. It's not about the victims. It's not about the victims' families. It's about this woman who is like sitting in the courtroom every day, who has nothing to do with the case, but is like obsessed with like going to the courthouse like every day and watching this like months-long trial.
It's about the true crime girlies.
It's about the true crime girlies, but in a way that is like so strange. It like you spend over half the movie being like, what's this person's deal? And you don't really find out until the end of the movie, and it's not some twisty like they were the murderer the whole time.
Yeah.
But it does kind of play with your expectations that it's going there. And then it's more so just a really interesting like psychological drama about this person who is like a true crime girly taken to the extreme.
Wow.
And the lengths that she goes to like learn more about the case. And there's another girl who's at the courthouse all the time who's like kind of dumb and is like a groupie for this murderer and thinks that he's innocent, and is kind of like a Jeffrey Dahmer fan kind of girl.
Whoa.
And she's really sympathetic. You wouldn't think she would be, but like she kind of believes what she's saying and thinks that like an innocent man's on trial. And then this main character like kind of wraps her into like this weird friendship, and it just goes for 2 hours. And I saw it at like 10 at night. And I kind of briskly walked to my car in the parking lot and went home and was like, that was a lot.
Murder happens every day.
And it all takes place in Quebec, and so it's a lot of like French Canadian actresses and actors.
Whoa.
I don't recognize a single person in this movie, and that kind of works perfectly for it, because like they're all doing a great job, but you're just like completely immersed in the story and the characters, and like
yeah,
this woman does a lot of face acting without saying a lot, and she's just like an incredible character, incredible in evil kind of ways.
This is a very What Happens Next coded. Like, this is very much the same kind of
It has a
topics.
ton to do with internet isolationism, like obsession. It's good. It could maybe even
Problematic
be a
individuals.
Maybe I might make you watch this at some point, but you will.
I would love. Yeah, but like I would love
that.
to. I think there's. Okay, well, I mean, I think there's something about like Gone Girl is the obvious example that people will point to as like a huge success in this genre, but like there's something about like it being real people and like real crime that like like I don't like, well, like if it gets gory to a certain degree, like yeah, but like if I feel like Gone
I can
Girl's,
tell you it doesn't really, but the threat of it doing so is there like the entire movie, and you're just here's I'm gonna spoil a little scene that I think is like will tell you what this movie kind of is.
Okay.
At some point, the like nicer, naive groupie is taken to the main girl's house, and the main girl's like, "Do you want to see the footage?" And you're like, "Oh my God, she has the Red Room footage. That's horrible." Because they're in the courthouse, and the courthouse essentially says like this imagery is like so disturbing that only the people who are on the jury and like family members, if they want to, can like stay in and watch it. The whole movie is like, this footage is horrible. The prosecutor, like in the opening scene, is like, I watched this once and never again, and I will basically like dedicate my life to like destroying this person who did these acts. Like it's got like almost a Lovecraftian thing about it, where it's like you watch the footage and then you are changed forever.
Yeah.
And there's just like 2 minutes of these women like sitting next to each other watching it, and you don't see what they're watching, but you just see them like bathed in a red light, like in a computer, like watching a computer with like a room with like drawn curtains. It is intense. It is like some of the best like acting I've seen in forever, and I'm sitting in the theater and squirming in my seat, and it was it was a good movie.
I'm about to pitch this movie. This is like I've never like this is I love this, and I think like what I was saying is like I just struggle with like actually looking at like physical images of gore, and
it is not a very gory movie.
Yeah, so I feel like I could handle it because I feel like I just have trouble, like, even though a lot of people are like, oh, it's obviously ketchup or whatever. Like I'm not good at like processing that on my brain, but like. This kind of movie I feel like is right in my alley, where it's like we're talking about these like things, we're like engaging with like these like dark kind of subject matter, but we're not actually having to like put you through the experience of like facing that kind of thing, I guess.
I mean, I find that more creepy and also way more engaging and interesting compared to like a Saw movie or whatever.
Yeah, like a gore fest where kind of the point is like looking at gore to an extent, I feel like, which like no shade, I guess, if that's your thing, but I don't know, I feel like it's like exactly, it's you can always imagine something that's worse than what is actually on the screen, I feel like, in a lot of those situations.
It does, it plays with that very well, of like the like not seeing is almost worse than seeing.
Whoa, that's cool.
It's a good movie.
I like that as a topic. It's interesting.
And I saw it like 48 hours after running my first ultra marathon, and so I was sitting in the theater, very uncomfortable, like can't get comfortable in general because my legs hurt, my feet hurt, everything hurts, and then I was squirming for a different reason because it was a disturbing movie, and it was a fun time at the theater. The most engaged I've been with a new movie in a while. I guess new to me.
Yeah. I love the idea of being winded and then having to be like, hey, like don't let your guard down now. Like
physically, I was disturbed. Mentally, I was disturbed. Happy Halloween. Happy start of October.
Awesome. Happy Halloween. Is this our first? Is this coming out?
This will come out in October. I don't know if it's our first. I think it's our second episode that comes out in October.
Yeah, no. Congratulations to Sam on running an ultra marathon.
I am very tired. I ran it very slowly.
Running for like, can I say the time?
Yeah.
9 hours is insane. That is.
I ran for 9 hours.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like I need to defend myself, even though I know running an
Okay.
ultra marathon's already like crazy. I ran it very slowly because I ran it like up mountains. Because when you get to the post-marathon distances, only crazy people do these things, or friends of crazy people, which is how I feel I am, because my friends are all crazy, and we're like, well, let's do an ultra marathon. So it's not enough to just run like 31 miles, which is what this was. You got to also have 4,200 feet of elevation change. So I'd like to think I can run an ultra marathon in like 6 hours. It took me 9 hours and 45 minutes. That's a long time. That was a lot of like sitting at aid stations being like, am I gonna die? Like, do I need to be airlifted out of here?
You're having the like moment in the like Evangelion where he's like sitting on the chair with the spotlight on him, like just.
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of frank conversations with like race volunteers that are like, all right, you're not gonna have water for the next 6 miles. Like, you either gotta drop out now or you just gotta do it. And it's like, I guess I'm doing it. And it was unusually hot for this time of year, and it was a miserable experience that I volunteered for and had a good time doing. So yeah, fun weekend.
Yeah,
but Red Rooms though, good movie.
Good accomplishment. Great accomplishment, great movie, good all around.
I may or may not have listened to a little bit of the Dandadan openings and endings. I may or may not have listened to a little bit of Twice, the K-pop group.
The girls supported you in your darkest moment.
One spark did come on, and I was like,
yay!
I'm not gonna bother changing this.
Chaeyoung put out a new single. She is now the first, second, third member, fourth member to put out a solo project.
Be careful, Mallory. You're about to lose your street cred, your K-pop cred.
I'm gonna lose my street cred because I didn't listen to it that much because I was kind of upset that they didn't have Dahyun do one. But I get it because she was in a movie, so it's like that's like her thing. And it's an order. Surely she's gonna be next. But now we're down to, because the trio Misamo, like the 3 Japanese members, like made an album together. So the only one who hasn't had solo projects is we're down to 2. It's Dahyun and Junghyun. So we're any minute now we're gonna be getting our Dahyun solo album, and I'll be very supportive of it.
Can't wait
for sure.
I'll have the alerts, the Google alerts ready.
Rebecca Sugar's album Lily Magic I've been listening to even more. There's another music video coming out that definitely I'll be talking about next week for This Is a Love Song. It looks a lot edgy and darker for Rebecca Sugar, which is not what you expect, so it's like, ooh,
Are these music videos animated?
Yes, phenomenally so. They're really beautiful.
I haven't checked it out yet because I can feel the pitch coming, but maybe I should.
Yeah, unfortunately with like the Halloween season, there's a lot of like clashing priorities in what I recommend, but this would absolutely be a pitch sooner in like normal circumstances. But yeah, like so far there's 2 music videos. One is live action, and then the other is animated. But yeah, we're getting a second fully animated, gorgeous looking music video. So very excited. Big W's for the Steven Universe camp. Lars of the Stars on the way. It's everything's coming up Mallory these days, Just don't pay attention to the news.
Everything's coming up Evil Eye,
Everything goes my way. Yes. But
oh, here we go.
I'm done talking about all this rest of this BS that we gotta be thinking about. It's time to talk about Dandadan.
No, my camera didn't freeze, in case you were wondering.
I want to murder.
Mallory, today we're talking about Dandadan, the anime, Season 2. What'd you think about it?
I love Dandadan. It's a good show. I enjoyed it a lot. A lot of the like things that upset me the most in season 1 were largely, I mean, yeah, like if I'm just giving the sparks notes of my feelings on it, the weird stuff with women and SA start stuff. There's only one part that I didn't like it, that we'll talk about for sure, but like for the most part, like that took much more of a backseat in this season, which allowed me to enjoy it more without having to worry about as much. I like.
Can you now see
the
why I was like,
characters.
this is the absolute weirdest, worst time to end season 1, like completely?
Yeah, like really just putting a huge underline exclamation point, like 64-point font on like one of the most like stupid, boring, dumb
Baffling.
scenes in the baffling scenes in the show.
Well, because
like,
when we were talking about it, I'm sitting there going, Turbo Granny's like gonna take like the screw out of the wood and the wall's gonna fall down like 15 seconds from now, and it's like, and we'll be done with this
Yeah.
weird, annoying chapter in what is otherwise a really cool arc.
the only other thing I will say at the top here, which is a surprise to you,
Mhm.
which is why I've kind of been keeping my mouth shut, and we'll definitely be talking about this more off air, is I read the manga in its entirety up to the latest chapter. I have finished
What?
chapter 210. Yeah,
Well,
because
screw that. Like, what do you think about, fighting typhoons and all the other things that they do in the manga? Like,
well, I've done it specifically in this way to torture you because we're not going to spoil the manga. This is our season 2 discussion. So back to Evil Eye.
you
We don't
picked
get to
up
talk
in a
about.
very interesting spot. Like, your catch-up spot is fascinating.
I love it. I will say, I guess I want to keep it spoiler free.
No,
but
we
just
will.
to address.
I mean, we can talk in
in
vagueness, but yeah.
yeah. Have you read the later, like chapter 210? That's been like it's been
Oh, yeah.
controversial on it's been controversial on Reddit. I don't know if it's controversial.
A lot of people
in
throwing
other
out,
places.
this is the first chapter of Dandadan I did not like. And I think that's a little premature, but we'll see.
I'm also like, this is the first chapter of Dandadan you did not. Hey, how about the first chapter of Dandadan? Could you
Yeah,
maybe
know.
like have a little, save a little of that vitriol
Dandadan, for the
like,
first time ever, is disrespecting its main female character. That's a lot of the comments being thrown around about Dandadan currently.
Yeah,
And her autonomy,
really- really, really interesting what you're kind of like reacting to. But yeah, I think
You
that
know so much. It's crazy to me. You know everything. I can't sit
Yeah.
here and fucking be like, oh, well, just you
The
wait.
smug-
We'll see what this alien girl's all about. Like, oh, man.
Yeah.
I'm blown away.
I couldn't wait because I saw the Alien Girls design and I'd kind of like seen it like here and there, but like I don't know, seeing it animated, I'm like, I gotta know what this alien's about, man. Like this is
You've met all the squad. There's so many. I can't hold all these squad members. Like it's a full like JRPG roster at this point. You've met all these
Really?
characters that we're not gonna see for years in the anime.
for years. Yeah. It's gonna be yeah, like year 8 of Nobody Leaves, and we'll finally be able to yeah, and I'll have my I'll be cosplaying like probably some giant I'll be wearing like a mecha suit to be like Acrobat Silky, like the not the Ira version but like the 10-foot tall yokai version. Like that's I'll just be paper macheing my face
With the cool hat.
but
We've already seen her
with a
though.
cool hat. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm keeping it safe. I will just say, in terms of the reaction to chapter 210, I think that it's very interesting and random, and I think that people are probably just rage baiting and discourse baiting because it's at a peak of interest and popularity since a bunch of people like me just started reading the manga, and I also think that yeah, I don't know, people's patience and ability to like let someone cook when they've like proved themselves several times is, and yeah, and I also think
Let me tell
I think
you-
the romance probably is going to stretch out for a long time, and if you're not interested in that ride, then I mean, like, sorry, but like what do you think this is?
I think this is gonna largely resolve itself personally, this plot point
Right.
that's currently happening, because I would say that Dandadan has, and we can talk about it with season 2, it steadily progresses the Momo Okarun relationship like in a very well plotted, paced out way, I think. Like, there's a lot of memes that are thrown around about how anime like stops and ends at hand holding, and there's a lot of like romance focused shows and manga and what have you and light novels that basically like end with the characters like being like, I guess we like each other, and that's some baby shit. And Dandadan, not to no future spoilers here, but I would say it progresses past where it's at in season 2 in ways that are meaningful.
Definitely.
And some of the most amazing scenes of Dandadan that we can't talk about, but now we can off air, and I can't wait.
Yes.
You're not going to work today. We're just going to talk for the next 6 hours.
This was my evil eye plan, because I'm an evil person.
What was it that pushed you over the edge? Is just seeing Vamola or other things?
It was Gigi. Like, I'd already decided
Yeah.
I was gonna do this like very early into the I made the whole like video essay reacting basically to the whole plot surrounding the evil eye and
On the Bad Luck Maru YouTube channel. Links in the description.
shout out me.
Shout out you.
Yeah, like I jumped on that because I was just so like invested in that story. I related to on a really personal level. I think that like there's been I think like,
boy, you don't get a lot of
character-
Gigi for a while. Must have been a long time.
he's here and there, and I'm glad that I had enough manga saved up to get back to him. But yeah, like exactly. It's like I think like there's been shows more recently. The like obvious comparison, and I like allude to it in the video that I made, is like Shima from Skip and Loafer, of these like we're going a little further on like humanizing the quote unquote
The golden
popular
retriever
characters, the golden retriever the people pleasery type characters, and it's like I don't know, I feel more seen like I don't really relate to being a shut-in nerd in high school. I relate to being someone who is more social, and I kind of like that. And it's like I'm sorry, like that.
Are you
it's
saying
not
you
that
get
I've never
tired
been
of Okarun wondering if he has friends 70 chapters into the story?
I don't even mind it. Like I like Okarun for who he is. I think he's well written, and I think you can do the like nerdy, introverted, shy, low self-confidence character well. And I think
But it's
that,
not the character
like,
archetype that you like gravitate to first.
Yeah, it's like I don't feel like I feel like I experienced, some aspects of that, like maybe in like middle school and stuff, but I feel like I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I was like in high school a little bit more, when you have this just like loud like ADHD kid who's just like being like, like getting just like abuse hurled at him by the new character Kinta, who obviously we will have to discuss pushing that down the line because we're talking Gigi right now.
Live Kinta reaction.
Live Kinta
soon.
reaction. But yeah, he's just like hurling this like basically like abuse at him or whatever, and like his response is just being like, oh, you're so cool, oh, we're friends or whatever, and then he's finally, oh, you're so mean to me, boo-hoo or whatever. He's trying so hard to like smooth out this thing that like the other person has no fucking interest in. And I'm like, I like that as a character. I love Gigi for all his flaws. He is a flawed character in many, many ways, as we see. And he's cool, and I love him a lot.
Well, now, like, where we left off, first episode of this show was we were just getting to know Gigi. You had seen the evil eye a little bit here and there, but you didn't quite get a full, like, since that has happened, 12 more episodes of the anime, and now hundreds of chapters of the manga, which is a new, didn't expect that. And you've fallen for this character, and I would say that like this is the Gigi period of the manga, right?
Totally.
A pattern has been established. We're gonna meet a new character. They're gonna have a backstory that semi ties into what's going on in yokai or alien world, and then instead of, I feel like what a lot of manga would do is be like, all right, wave goodbye, we have another island to explore, we have another land to conquer, I guess we're not gonna hang out anymore. Something I love about Dandadan, it might be my favorite thing about Dandadan, is that it keeps the characters on these journeys and they don't regress and they don't disappear. And just, as someone who really connected with the Ira Acrobatic Silky arc from the first season, I love that Ira's having her own growth and her own story, like, kind of in the background of this season. Like, she's by no means the main player, but, like, the repercussions of her previous actions still come through in a handful of scenes, like, about how she's now kind of an outsider, but then now she's got a found family of outsiders, and her relationship with Momo is developing in fun ways, and Okaroon, and the manga and anime, I think, do that with every character. So while maybe Gigi's whole deal has somewhat been resolved, he's still gonna, he's still got room to grow and do more cool stuff.
Absolutely. Like, I think his arc, I'd love to talk about art as well. It's so hard to stay focused on one, because they're all so interesting. But we'll knock Gigi
Dandadan
out of
is
the
a
park
maximalist
here.
series. There's so much going on.
And then we'll discuss the other characters. But I think he serves as such a great counterpoint and way for Okarin's character to grow. Like, it's really well thought out in that way, and I think that he works so well because he's not one-dimensional. He's not like this cartoon. He's not like the Momo's boyfriend in the first chapter, which no I think that scene is handled completely fine. I don't think that character needs mountains of depth in order to
sure, but Gigi's a three-dimensional person, right?
Yeah, it's that's Okarin compared to that guy is nothing. It's very easy to outdo him. It's why do guys always mistreat their girlfriends? I'm a nice guy or whatever. That's very easy hurdle to clear or whatever. But then what if you have this super emotionally aware, physically attractive, strong, fun, funny, has history, has chemistry person,
friendly
in
too,
the room,
nice to
friendly,
Okaroon.
good-natured.
That's it. Doesn't Dandadan never, I think, goes full love triangle, but it has a strong love triangle if you want it there, right?
Totally, yeah, and it's I like that he is a legitimate threat or potential you see those moments in season 1 where they're talking on the train and he's messing around with her, where you're Momo and Gigi do have this chemistry, and it's not if Okarin wasn't there, it wouldn't be crazy. And when Okarin considers maybe I should get out of the way, I don't want to cause any trouble, you can see that playing out. And even though when we get to what Momo's actually interested in, she pretty clearly is more infatuated with Okarin and is more drawn in that direction, maybe has some it's unfortunate that we don't get as much of her internal monologues. I think it's sometimes hard for me to tell if the series is saving them, I guess. That would be one of my criticisms.
Now you know a lot more, but I would say Okarin is going to take a pretty serious backseat in favor of Momo in the next I think in the next anime season long arc, right? The everything to do with mysterious character who's shown at the end of this season has a lot more to do with Momo than Okaroon, even though that one scene might imply otherwise.
Yes.
And I feel Okaroon, not that he's standing still since this Evil Eye arc, but I feel he's done the majority of his growth as a character in this series, in this arc. And it has probably my favorite moment of his to jump a little bit ahead, and that's the creative solution to the problem, right? It's the power of friendship, but it's actually done well. It's Okaroon taking the best aspects of Gigi and solving the problem, but while also becoming stronger. It's not enough to just talk your way out of it or talk the person down, but it's it's a physical transformation and a emotional transformation in how he solves the Evil Eye situation, and I think that is very beautiful, and it makes me it was one of my favorite moments of the manga when I was first reading it.
Totally. No, it's so good. It's first of all like funny. Like it's really funny.
He's very funny.
Like obviously, it's also just like so sweet. Like it makes me really emotional because it's just like yeah, like you have this like I don't know. I talk about Gigi a lot as like an empath and a people pleaser, but I think that like a lot of times when you are like I tried to explain this in this video. I don't know if I did a good enough job of it, but it's like I feel like when being a people pleaser is not like that is not a label that means oh you are a person that makes everyone happy and you are a good person.
Mm-hmm.
That is a label that is you have a compulsive need to perform this action, whether or not it is actually pleasing to people. You are just like compulsively trying to please people. Like that's where your priorities are. You feel kind of uncomfortable if you're not doing that. And like Gigi is empathetic, but he has this like drive to always kind of like smooth out the situation, like fix everything. And then I love it because Okurun is also empathetic, and Okurun like can just kind of like see Gigi's weak point and like see the thing that Gigi himself hasn't acknowledged and has like grown past Gigi, is more mature than Gigi, and like that increased level of maturity and like the fact that Okurun is not trying to please everyone. Okurun, like by deciding to fight Evil Eye and by deciding to rock the boat when everyone else has decided, okay, I guess we're gonna make peace with like every now and again our house is just gonna get destroyed by Evil Eye. Like everyone's just kind of been like, well, I guess we got to deal with that, you know. Like Okurun is the one to like, you know, challenge things and buck the system or whatever, and that's because he's like seeing even beyond just like let's keep everything like, you know, kosher and
well, it's
kumbaya.
It's like
you know?
self-sacrificing, but not in a toxic way. Like it's a stepping up as opposed to like a dying on the sword is how it feels.
Yeah.
Where like he's agreeing to like sacrifice, you know, one day of his life a week to getting in a fight. Like it's like this weird 2-person fight club he's now joined, this pact that he's made. It is in some ways like it is a really personal sacrifice. Like it's taking on this problem, and he's doing it for a friend, for his first friend. Like Momo is something more than a friend, but Gigi is like his first boy. And Gigi, your categorization of him as a people pleaser is so accurate, and I think that's what makes the refusal to be exorcisms
exorcent.
It's what makes it stand out so much, because Gigi is for the first time in the series doing something that actively people don't want him to do by rejecting the exorcism. It's a personal choice. He cares so much about this connection he has with the young spirit of the boy that he like is willing to break out of that mold. And it's probably my favorite Gigi moment. And so you've got my favorite Gigi moment, you've got my favorite Okurun moment, and in between you have a very weird detour where they fight Beethoven, but don't worry about that.
We'll get to that in the Ira section, I think.
Yeah, we will. And it makes for some really, like, this is some of the strongest that Dandadan ever is. Not to say that like there's some really cool stuff to go, and I teased this in the first episode we did about Dandadan, but like the acrobatic silky chapter moments is still probably like the most this manga has like shot me in the heart. But there are more moments like that, and that formula is honed and perfected, and you just know it's coming when like suddenly like the art style changes and you're like, oh boy, here we go. And you're gonna get a lot more acrobatic silkies like as you continue on in the story, and I cannot wait to see how they handle it, because the adaptation is done with so much love and care, and it just I'm just thrilled.
Definitely. I want to talk about Evil Eye, but I do have to make a little meta announcement about what's happening with my costume. So my nose started going numb a little while back from the strain on my head, so no more wig.
Mallory, take the wig off.
No more wig for this
No
episode.
more wig.
Oh, man, that feels good. Okay, so
it's
sorry.
Bad after like 30 minutes? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's crazy. I wish that my head was not this weak, but sorry to anyone who thought that I was actually Evil Eye this whole time. I'm not. I'm actually a gay YouTuber, so
what?
back to our discussion. I feel like in talking about Gigi, well, yeah, so my most emotional, heart-wrenching moment of this manga is like when Gigi approaches the little kid and is like, okay, let's play, like, what do you want to do? Yeah. And he he goes from being like he's protesting his Momo being like, no, we have to help this guy, and then like he's like sitting in like really solemnly like taking in all of this like serious information, and then he just goes like ganga woo, and I'm like, yeah, like
he starts doing the finger guns and you're like, oh, GG.
Yeah, ganga asonjaoze, and I'm like, wow, like that's good. And then he says this like line which like I don't know if the sub or I feel like either the sub or dub didn't get it quite. Like,
I have seen this scene in both sub and dub because I watched the first 3 episodes again because I saw them in the movie theaters and sub, and I watched them in dub at home.
Between the two, you probably got it, but just like the like, I'll play with you like as long as you want, like more than like you could in like a single lifetime, basically. Like I will give everything to you, and I'm like that is. Like, I'm tearing off even thinking about it because it's just
I'll
like...
play with you for eternity is kind of how I took it in.
Oh, it's so good. It's like, it's reminiscent, I think, of just, that like compulsive kind of... like, as sweet as it is, it's like, the reason why it gets me is that it's like, it's not good or healthy, obviously. Like, it's like that like compulsive self-sacrificing thing where you're like... I'm just gonna like die on this sword. I'm gonna like give up everything rather than like what Okurun ends up doing, which is like, here's boundaries, here's a specific time and place. Here's like
Okurun's like version of this is more well thought out and is more like in the realm of what's possible. Whereas Gigi's is the dying on the sword, whereas Okurun's is like the stepping up. Is like how I keep thinking about it.
Absolutely, and it also like works really well as like a like metaphor or whatever for like parenthood as well. You like because Evil Eye like gets presented as this child, and like Gigi in that situation is that like permissive parent that just like doesn't set any boundaries, gives their kid everything they want, and then the kid is just like and like I'm a teacher. I encounter these kids. It's like they really struggle emotionally with being told like, no, you can't have that, you know what I mean? Like or like you have to like do fairness with like the other kids, like you have to take turns or whatever, and it's like it's all the other kids have figured that out because they have siblings or they have to like they have parents who set better boundaries or whatever. But like Evil Eye with Gigi as a parent who is trying to make up for all this suffering and make up for all this guilt is like just complete chaos, no limits, do whatever I want, like violate other people in whatever way I feel like, murder. It's really well done and thought out, I think, the relationships there.
I think talking a little bit about like the anime as adaptation, I think the Evil Eye like background story is the first time in Dandadan where I like definitively like the anime more than the manga. And for the most part, I would say even past season 2, like I love Dandadan, like what it does in the medium of manga more than anime. Like I think the anime is very special and it's clearly made by like really passionate people. But most of the time I prefer the manga to the anime, which is just partially because it's how I first came to the story, right? Even stuff that they put a ton of work into, like Acrobatic Silky, like I really like that silent chapter. It's like it's one of my favorite manga chapters ever. But the Evil Eye stuff, Dandadan arcs are really complicated, even though they don't seem like they will be. It's never just an alien. It's never just a spirit. It's never just like, it's always like a weird mix of it, and it's like, oh, there's a worm and there's a second worm and there's a Evil Eye that's been created that's not just this kid, but it's also the victims of these other people that then form into make this like amalgamation that they're now dealing with. All that's like pretty hard to follow in like a flipping pages of a manga, and I think the anime, the way the anime visualizes like the white-haired child becoming like taking on all of these horrific like deaths and other victims and other children, and forming that and making a house of suffering around it and becoming like one being. Like I think that the anime like makes that a lot more clear, and then also makes it even more tragic. Like it's just really well done.
Totally. Yeah, no, it's really cool, like the emphasis to things. I didn't unfortunately I didn't like reread the chapters. Like I absolutely will, but like I didn't reread the chapters that were covered in the anime. Like I started
That's totally
from
fair.
the one that like would have picked up where like the anime left off. But yeah, like I could see the way there's a level of emphasis that's placed on like a lot of characters' arcs that I think are like just so like humanizing, I think, and like the things they spend time on. One thing I did I know the panel, and like we can maybe transition to Ira talk with this one, because this is like easily one
I
of
have
my
one
favorite
more point on
scenes,
Gigi,
and
but yeah.
Well, so yeah, let's do
something-
Gigi, because
So I think that that's all handled really well. I really like how they handled Gigi in the anime. There is it's like I flip back and forth. I'm like, I like that scene in the anime, I like that scene in the manga, I like that scene in the anime, and I basically did that the whole time. I'm miserable to watch this show with, because I'm sitting there going, oh well, there they did this, and oh well, they captured that, like that was more impactful as a panel, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
I'm miserable, and I can't help it because I love this manga so much. I've read it like 4 times.
Yeah.
All that being said, one of my favorite Gigi scenes that I think the anime kind of like speeds past is him being reunited with his parents. Yeah, and I think that alone will be worth you reading what you haven't read the manga version of, because the anime like in the manga too, like they're joking around heading up to the hospital, but the Gigi like putting on a front and being like, I'm not bothered by the fact that my parents tried to kill themselves in front of me. In the anime, like they focus on like Okarun and Momo and Taro like watching this happen. In the manga, I feel like it does a better job of like putting Gigi's face like right in front of you as he like the facade breaks and he just has this release of emotion and cries. Aww. And it's a very, very sweet moment, and I think it's that's just something that's like maybe the moment in the anime that I thought that was like a missed opportunity among many different scenes that they flesh out and do great things with. That was just one thing that got lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, no, that absolutely makes me. That's exactly, you said the exact keywords to make me want to check it out, because yeah, Gigi. Targeted advertising. Yeah, I think that like the like that, because I can feel and understand the emotional significance of that scene, and it like it doesn't like when you finally see it, like it's been subtext and it's been kind of obvious if you're paying attention
and be sad,
the whole
right?
time.
Like they don't. Yeah.
And it's like you're finally getting the delivery of like, yeah, obviously he was putting up a brave face with like his parents or whatever, and like here's like, because you're shown like the trauma of it in the like underground scene or whatever, when like Okurin is like,
you see him discovering them, right?
Yeah, and like the like trigger word, which is like shinasete, which means like let me die, like it's like that's like the thing that like gives him a flashback to his parents, and that was like the traumatizing thing. Like after, well, it would be traumatizing without this, but the fact that he saved his mother and then she like responded with "let me die," like is clearly the thing that like, just because I think people pleaser, and then you try to help someone that doesn't want to help themselves, but like
right, and not knowing that it's an evil
wires.
Subterranean worm under your house, but just thinking that for some reason like it, like I'm sure it like destroyed his worldview, like when you think about like that experience, because his parents seem very much like him, like seem like happy-go-lucky people, especially his mother, who's great.
Yeah, I love his parents because they seem like I can just see how it where like his mother encourages him to be all fun-loving, crazy or whatever, like the fact that she's making him run after the car. It's like she's bringing out that side, but then the father, like the entire stage is just being like, hey, could you like quiet down?
You can feel him being outnumbered for sure.
Yeah, so then you have the crazy eccentric side, and then the like soothe things people pleaser side, like, and you get the mix, and that's Gigi. And I'm like, that works. And then I feel like I think so much about Gigi every day. I feel like I feel like what he sees with Momo, I feel like the reason why their relationship probably wouldn't be good, but like what he kind of is subconsciously maybe like drawn to with her, because they don't necessarily like explicitly state a lot of this, but like I think that she is like kind of cantankerous and rough around the edges, and and like that's kind of like how his mom is, she's a little bit like more boisterous and that kind of thing. And then his dad is very like,
what's going on?
Well, I think his dad is very like soothe the situation. So even though like the dynamic's a little different because Gigi's like positive, happy-go-lucky, and Momo's a little bit more like kicking things and a little bit more jumping to assumptions. It's like he wants that same dynamic. Yeah, he wants like I think that he wants that same dynamic where Momo is rough around the edges, but she can also stand up for herself and defend him or whatever. And he's like soothing. He's like bringing the temperature down and like all that kind of thing.
No, I think it's a good read.
Yeah, but that's kind of coddling her, and Okurun is the one that challenges her to grow past these like kind of shortcomings. So that's why they're a better pairing.
I will say this. Both anime and manga do a good job of really leaving Gigi ambiguous in terms of like, would he date Momo if he could? What does he really think about Okurun and Momo? The most you get is him teasing her about having a crush, and him knowing that the two of them are crushing on each other without them knowing that the other are crushing on each other, which is a fun dynamic. But they really like, every once in a while the manga will really just, have a panel with Gigi and Momo just to like really just ice in the veins, like, oh, what is happening? Like, what are you trying to tell me right now?
There's some good seeds in this manga, I'll tell you that much.
There's some seething.
There's some pictures in this manga.
There's some compositions that are like, what are you doing to me right now, Yukino Butatsu? Am I about to have to kill Yukino Butatsu?
My last thought on Gigi, just to talk about the evil eye of it all. I am such a sucker for characters that are just power. Yeah, like, the only thing I care about is being strong. I've been getting really back into like I've been looking at a lot of Steven Universe content lately, and like Jasper from Steven Universe is the best way that I can describe. Like I love Jasper in Steven Universe. Like just
I remember
fully committed to being like just about one thing and just might makes right, and that's it. And they have such a narrow, childish worldview. Is so pure to me in a way, even though these characters end up doing a bunch of evil things. Like,
much like Jasper and Steven Universe, like the realization that like this character can be not just funny, but maybe the funniest character. Like, the evil eye is terrifying for 9 episodes, and is then like the best comedic tool in the toolbox for like the remainder of this season, and is a great.
Absolutely.
I'm never not happy to see the evil eye in Dandadan.
Yeah, like scenes where I was actually screaming and kicking, like I was crying at like the whole evil eye conversion, everything, and like I was getting emotional around like the challenge to the fight, but like the whole evil eye at school bit, and also the kaiju fight, like I was literally like, I would be like, yes, like at my TV. Like I was literally like, this is so good.
Him yelling at a mountain-sized kaiju and essentially getting crushed and just being like, I'm mad.
Literally him like escaping the giant robot, being like, I'm free, and then he dies. I'm like, yeah, like this is what I want to see. This is good. And yeah, I just love him like happily running along, like when Okurun is like speculating about like the robot's power levels and stuff or whatever, he's just like drawing like fight scenes on the ground. Oh man, it's just beautiful. And like when he gets turned into like a like one phrase character, like when he literally the only word he can say is bukuroshitai, which is just like I want to murder someone, which like is
butcher, as I think they subtitle it.
I think is partially done because of the like it's very easy to like lip match Butcher and Bukurosu.
Probably so.
But yeah, like but yeah, I mean it's accurate translation. Like I think it's also just like that specific word. Like I've just heard elementary schoolers try to be cool. Bukurosu, like they're trying to be really hard and tough and stuff, and I'm like it just feels so good. And then yeah, the divine scene when they're all like going to the different parts of like the Voltron robot, and he's like he has the little rainbow sparkles, and he's like I want to kill someone. It's just like good
Why
character.
did you put me in this?
The best character. And then Okarun like trying to be a I felt like Okarun is just like a real parent, like where he's like
where he's jumping on the telephone pole and Okarun's like, come down, like,
because he had like this safe controlled environment where he was able to like demonstrate his love and care for Evil Eye by fighting him, and then like set boundaries, but then rubber hits the road with parenting, where you're at the grocery store and your kid is like stealing people's stuff and like climbing on shit or whatever and like taking off their shirt, and you have to be like no, and like grab him and put him in the car sometimes, well,
there's a real tension there of like, are we gonna immediately like go back on our agreement, and is that gonna completely screw up his development, basically? Like,
exactly.
And I like that the next arc isn't resolved by like, well, let's just let the Evil Eye fight.
Yeah, no, exactly. And like Okarun is being like, no, Momo, like we can't take advantage of our kid to like make him fight. We have to like keep our consistent boundaries or whatever. But then like it shows the like unfortunate side effect, which is that like when you're trying to juggle your kid and your other responsibilities, you push the kid too far, and now he's being like, can't do this, can't do that. Can't kill your friends, can't kill your enemies. What am I supposed to do? And then he's like, you have to like bring him back down to earth. Good writing all around. My favorite scene in the anime
Mallory.
is when they carry the kaiju across the countryside. So cute.
Mallory, we're almost an hour into this podcast. I've got to know. Controversial character, Quinta. Yes. The magnificent Quinta. How you feeling about this guy?
So I think that he's well written and presented in the anime. I think he's a good character. I think that like you warned me ahead of time. Basically, the comparison I made in like the first episode of us talking about Dandadan for season 1 was Mineta. And that was my like fear,
everyone's favorite
right?
My Hero Academia character.
Right. And I could talk about Mineta until the fucking cows come home, but I think that like very bad character. And I think that like Quinta is obviously like in that same sphere of like, maybe like being socially unaware, like trying to like
is he going to be a pervert?
But he's different.
Is he going to be like a Master Roshi or a Mineta or just like an annoying like tropey, a Jiraiya? Like there's many
Jiraiya,
we can go to.
Yeah, and it's like I think that like he like they played him in a way, and you obviously can provide the context for the manga that I don't have, but like they're just like, yeah, this is a flawed character. He hasn't done the only thing that he does that I don't like is when the girls are kicking him and he's like, oh, I'm so happy to be touched or whatever. Like that's the only thing where I'm like, that's kind of like creepy on a level to where I wish it would be treated a little bit more like
seriously. Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, or like I think those are the situations where if you want to have someone say something like that, then you have like Okarun like interject and be like, hey man, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like
it enters like a level of like unreality where it's like, okay, well these people wouldn't be friends with this guy if he's like moaning when they punch him or whatever. Like it's but they don't do that too much. It's not something about it where it's just like it almost like pierces the veil to really piss me off, and then it just kind of much like the nanotech in their house that you can just kind of smooth it over, and weird blocky Minecraft dude can, break a window, but then they'll patch it up.
Yeah. No, so it's like those are the only scenes that I think like really rub me the wrong way. I think that like they handle the like inappropriate jokes thing I think really well, where it's
We've
like
known
it's based
people
on
like this. I can think of people. I recalled several people where I'm like, leave a horrible impression, clearly nervous or like awkward, and just set a tone where you're not gonna like this person forever, and that's it's a bummer. It's sad.
Freshman year of high school, this kid sat down next to me and was like, "Hey, check this out," and showed me porn on his phone. And I was like, "Thanks, man." It's like,
yeah, tell me off
these
mic
kids
who that
exist.
was.
I remember his name. I will tell you that. But yeah, that like I think that it's like misreading things, like thinking things that are cool, like glorifying things that are like problematic. And I think like it works as a good metaphor where like the joke is like obviously they keep talking about testicles, but that's because like Okurun
he misunderstands it, and he's like, oh well, they must like spicy talk, and that's why Okurun's popular. Yeah,
but it's like it's also like I think that misinterpretation works in a way. I worry that like the like average little nerds like media literacy is not at a level where they're like picking this up, but it's like when you hear like a couple or pseudo couple or whatever, like two people mutually consenting in like sexy flirty talk or whatever, like the message to take away from that is not, oh, I just gotta say sex stuff, and then that'll get it's like there's Kinta's
he's
like
still an idiot,
primary
for sure.
Primary character flaw is not understanding and considering context in like the ways that he is like presenting stuff, and just trying to copy what he literally sees rather than like seeing the foundation that these like relationships are built on. So I don't know. I think it works as like again, I'm like, I feel like this series is more aware than most anime about like just the reality of women.
It is, while at the same time, I definitely first reading the manga was like, God, another Kinta chapter. Can we just leave him alone? And then he'll make a Metal Gear reference, and I'll be like, okay, well maybe I like Kinta a little bit, or a Gurren Lagann reference. I will say at this point, Kinta to me is the panel of him going 10-gallon wiener. Like he's become so memed that I don't even have an opinion on him anymore. Like I'm just like, oh, Kinta. Like he's become flanderized to the point where like I was curious what your reaction to him would be, but I was like, I have no opinion of him either way. I think the anime did him a good service, to be honest, where like I feel like he was the bit of Okurun and Momo repeating their meet cute from season 1.
He's just in every frame.
But it cutting to Kinta and the music cutting out every time. It earned him like a point. It was a full letter grade for that gag, and that's an anime original gag, and it's great. Like that, the music specifically cutting out every time, like that is just so perfect, and it really, when you're reading the manga, you're like, why are we suddenly following this guy? And then it and as in Dandadan fashion, turns into a giant kaiju battle. But I think the anime did a really good job of like easing you into it in a very silly way, and I think that's a very fun introduction.
I think that he like I think it's good because he like, oh no, I lost my thought. I think it's I think it's good because they like he's one of the first things he says to Okurun is like, I'm not interested in men. I'm just trying to understand your strategy. But like we just watched a whole montage of him stalking Okurun, where it's like I don't have really a queer reading of Kinta. I don't think that he's a gay
he wants
character.
a friend.
I think
it's very clear. Like they put so much emphasis on them reading the same magazines, and it's like, and Okurun and Kinta I think have some good moments way down the line that I think are very fun. I
think it's also just like showing I think it's like showing like hey man, you are kind of obsessing over a guy though, right? Like you like in this context, like you're kind of like not like because you're just trying to be like popular, like you maybe need to like let some of these walls and rigid expectations of like who people are down. I think
you need to learn to make a friend before you can make a girlfriend, basically.
Totally. Yeah. Like, and I think that like I do think he adds something to the like thing by being part of the group. Like in that
it'd be lame if everyone was like this person with tragic backstory who is now like a fully fledged person and is now like kind of boring. Like you need a little bit of spice in that dynamic.
Yeah, and like we said, like I think all of our characters have different resolutions but still have like clear flaws, you know? And like I think that like he is definitely like a lot more on the flawed side, but I think that he like I think that so what Mineta does in My Hero Academia that I don't like is that he is a voice for like there's all these hot babes around and nobody's sexualizing them and making comments about the proportions of their body or whatever. It's like
he's an audience surrogate for like the worst members of the audience.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
like he's
potentially the author's worst impulses.
Exactly. He's like the fact that the author thought that this audience surrogate was needed like says a lot about the author that I am not fond of. In a way
sure,
that
I don't want to litigate it, but there's some costumes in My Hero Academia that are questionable.
Yes, and I think that like in Kinta's case, like I think he is an audience surrogate that works a little bit more for like the average manga fan, or at least the presumed audience of like a lot of manga that is just inherently going to be there. I think that it's good to have a character that like is so stuck in their worldviews of like Gigi's like a show-offy hot guy or whatever. He's like a Chad basically, and like Okurun, why is Okurun like the slow reveal of Shinji Evangelion?
I like big robots too. I'm not heartless.
Not even the robot part, just like the the like classifying of it. Like Okurun's a nerd. Like how come he gets all the girls, and like Gigi's like a hot guy. He doesn't care about anyone, and then just like the women are women. We just like look at them. We don't really think about what they have to say. Like I think that it's good to have that character in a way to show the flaws of that mindset, and by juxtaposing it with like the Okurun and Gigi that we've come to love, we get to see like that gap. I think that there could have been a little bit more in terms of like the girls and his interactions. I think that there's still a little bit of shortcomings vis-a-vis like the speaking
future
feminist
characters
work, I guess. I mean future characters too, but I think just like there could be a little bit more bridging, like having their autonomy, which it happens at the end fight in the robot scene. It's like he was just like dragging them around and like not care, like he hangs up on Momo, which is a really funny moment to me.
It is funny
when he's like fixing the robot, and then like they're pointing out like you're like piloting this in a way that's giving us like terrible motion sickness, and then like as soon as they take over, like they're able to like solve it almost immediately because they have like their own combined powers and their own like creativity. And like,
but what he brings to the table is really fun.
Yeah.
Just from like a
Totally.
like getting lame and like talking about like power rankings or characters for a moment. The
Yes.
power of imagination, it's very charming. I'll give him that.
It's good, and I think it's good to like have this character like have a like consistent, considerable strength that like other characters can like appreciate, and like Okurun consistently like geeks out over, and like I wish they had like a little bit more underlining of like the him. I wish he had a little bit more of a like, oh, like these women also have good ideas, because I think that's like what he's missing a little bit.
No, totally.
But like it's like it's there if you want to read it, but it's maybe just not like given the oomph that like maybe I think like the Gigi and Okurun scenes are just like so much better. I think like
to a certain extent it's like not every person who's gonna be invited to the the sit around table is as developed as Momo, Okarun, Gigi, Ira, other characters. You know, I think he's closer to like a Mr. Peeny Weenie than a
I see.
than a Gigi is how I think about it. Even though he's in a lot more than everyone's favorite weird alien man. There's a joke. I know you've now read it, which is crazy, but I'm still reeling from that. There is a joke where you get like 5 seconds of what Mr. Peeny Weenie's life is like when he's not hanging out with the crew, and it's so fucking funny. Where he's living his own like 30s era Japanese drama, and you're just like, what's going on here? Dandadan remains amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, those are my Kinta thoughts. I think he's like endearing to an extent. And I just love I love his GG interactions. That's why I really love him. I love that he's the person to like he is a way to really highlight like how far Gigi is willing to go in terms of being like, you know, just trying to like smooth things over like by just being like you're dust to me. Like
any scene like, with Gigi, Okarun, and Kinta like arm in arm going to the grocery store, pretty great, not gonna lie.
Yeah,
you get a lot more of like the girls are doing this and the guys are doing this as the manga proceeds, and I think those are very fun because some female friendships are gonna continue to grow and change in ways that is very sweet. I know we haven't talked a ton about Momo, and we're getting pretty close to wrapping up, but this is definitely not Momo's like strongest point in the series. Like she's more of the background player for a lot of this. Despite you know often being like the big punch at the end, she doesn't have too much going on character wise except for the simmering relationship. But do you have any season 2 Momo thoughts?
She's cute, she's good, she's a nice character. I like.
She remains like best MC ever, but no, it is unfortunate that like her growth kind of goes by the wayside. Like that was basically going to be my main criticism if I had to criticize anything, is like her feeling less and less like the main character as we like went through it. But yeah, like I think having read the manga now, it's like okay, we do kind of refocus on her like once this like arc is over and get some more stuff out of her, which is really good. I think the manga is really Okarun heavy at the beginning, and I would say like he is very much not going to be the main character for the foreseeable future, for maybe up to where the manga is now, if you think about it. A lot of Momo to go.
Yeah, no, totally. So yeah, I'm looking forward to more of her because it's a little bit unfortunate. I wasn't crazy about the maid cafe parts. It's kind of funny.
Not crazy about either.
But I'm like,
it's never been my favorite part of the series. There's a sequence with her at the maid cafe that I think is really cool that hasn't happened yet. It's a very famous panel in Dandadan that is creepy in ways that are intentionally creepy. But yeah, no, maid culture has never been my jam, as has been documented on this podcast.
I think there's ways you can do it a little better. I think it feels fan servicey in a like, rather than sexualizing, we're like romanticizing the idea of like her being in a maid
feels out
costume.
of her character.
Yeah, it really does.
Never felt to me like something she would put up with, although it does make for some good jokes with the secret best characters of the entire series, which is her two friends.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, I will say, yeah, another one of my favorite scenes is them dragging Okarun to the train. Zero dialogue. Okarun stands up and they yank him back down and just kind of giggle. Is just
so
beautiful.
Those are like these moments where the anime elevates parts of the manga I don't like, and yeah, it was a fun time.
Yeah,
and
no,
him
there's a lot of
after work I think is very sweet.
No, yeah, that scene is really beautiful, I think. But yeah, like the actual part itself, you're kind of like, Momo wouldn't like. I don't know, but yeah, I think that like the like, what is it? I think that the anime does just do such a good job of these like human moments where they're like really like lingering on characters and these like intimate kind of, you know, like reflections. Like I really enjoy it. I think that like the scene I was gonna mention like way earlier, and has definitely caught on and been very popularized is the like makeup getting ready scene with like Ida.
Oh, the Ira like get ready with me. Yeah, no, it's
yeah.
fun.
It's so cute, and I saw the like manga panels, and it's like it has it, but it's like 2 panels as opposed to like we really get like the whole like start to finish foundation moisturizer like.
Well, and it's like that's a fun like I think it's a chapter opener or like it's like a transition into like another like time period like the next day or what have you, and it's just like showing how different Ira and Momo are, and you throw them in a room together and make them like share this space for this problem, and it's just like it's fun.
Yeah,
them arguing about
like
toner I think is really cute.
It is. I think that like and I think that redeems it. I think the thing that I was a little concerned about was like I didn't want it to be like Ida wears makeup and Momo doesn't. But then they do have that like the comments about it says like okay, Momo does wear makeup, like that makes sense cuz like
no, yeah, it doesn't go where you think it's going to go. Yeah, it's like it's not that Momo is not a girly girl. It's just that Ira is like kind of conceited,
I think it's,
you know.
Yeah, I think it's that like they're getting ready to eat breakfast like after having a sleepover with their friends around like the family table or whatever, and Momo's gonna put on makeup to go to school, but she's not gonna put up makeup to have breakfast with her friends and family. Versus
she's
Ida
gonna be a gremlin
is like
and beg for rice.
Exactly, yeah, and like
make funny
like
faces.
Ida is like the moment from the absolute moment she like opens her eyes is like okay, time to put on my mask, like I cannot let anyone see like any imperfection.
I can't leave the room without looking my best.
Yeah, no, it's a really cute scene. Ida I think also unfortunately gets de-emphasized in this thing. Like we said, there are moments, but I will say
the only thing I can really say about her is that I like that she remains like remains like physically like powerful in the sense that like she's always dynamically added into a lot of fight scenes in ways that are fun, but in terms of like character stuff, like most of what her character's about has been established at this point, and they're gonna circle back to her, they're gonna circle back to Gigi, they're gonna circle back to Momo, but we've got the big emotional moments with these characters for the most part for now, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I just like that she's been permanently changed by season 1 in terms of like
no, that's
her
good.
social status and all these different things.
I wanted to pick your brain about it because I do think that like I think the thing that I was a little concerned about her in a way, but I'm also like I feel like I might be just biased because I just love Gigi so much, where I'm like with Gigi and like Kinta, like I feel like I can point to like these are their flaws, this is how it's continuing to affect them, like these are the prospective character arcs. With Ida, like I feel like her character has faded, and also like it feels like a little bit character bleed with Momo. Like the thing with Ida is that she has a mask that she puts up around like specific people like Okura, like she goes all cutesy in front of him. But then like she will switch to like meeting Momo at her level and being really angry and like fighting. But like the problem is like I feel like I don't know, it's like they've gotten like really similar in my head at a point, and I think that like and I guess I just wish there was more like there's a scene, not to spoil the manga. Okay, we're getting to the end of the podcast, so I can spoil a little bit of the manga.
Oh, you're allowed
to
spoil.
There's a scene that shows Kinta like in his like after having had this like glorious great robot moment, like going back to his kind of isolated like reclusive social life in the class or whatever. And I haven't seen anything from Ida really showing that, where like what Ida did was like not just like continue to be like a kind of like cornered nerd that's like being bullied for her interests or whatever. Like she was very popular, and she had a very public like confession of wrongdoing, and the idea that like she's not going to be bullied or victimized or ostracized, like I just want to see a little bit more of that, because I think that like the characters
we've seen the fallout of that as much as like the story has, basically, in my opinion. Like I think you've got the two different scenes of her like walking into her classroom and people just being like giving her the cold shoulder. I think what you're supposed to take from it is just that she's found more. Her true friends are Momo and Okarun, and more Momo than she would even expect. Like, they do become kind of, sisterly in a weird, fucked up way. Yeah. And I think that that's just what you're supposed to take from that story, is like, she was artificial, but so were her relationships. And now she has like more serious relationships. And even the Okarun thing, which is mostly like a gag or played for laughs or what have you, you get the little moment after they
the piano moment where
the
he
piano
saves
moment.
her. Yeah.
Well, you get
like
the
falls in real love with him.
You get a little bit of her internal monologue, which is like the only time it happens, I think, the entire season. And it's like, normally I'd be saying something cute. Why am I not saying something cute? And I think it's from that moment she really is falling in love with Okarun, but is not going to pursue it. And I think that is like an interesting little wrinkle. I don't think it's ever going to become like an actual full-blown love triangle, much like the Gigi Momo Okarun deal. But I think there's just moments of her becoming her more genuine self in ways that are sweet.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to the like Ira is the leader, which starts as a joke and kind of stops being a joke eventually.
Well, see,
in ways that are
that's
fun.
the thing. I kind of had a weird problem with the leader thing because I feel like Momo is the leader, and I feel like Momo's whole strength and thing that I really liked about
Momo
her
is the leader. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
but
like
Ira,
the thing that I really liked in the early chapters is how Momo's strength specifically is like, I'm good at battle strategy and thinking on the fly and making these calls. So like that was like, I think where I started to get like, I'm like, why is Ida the leader now? I mean, you can explain like your feelings.
I don't have an
it,
explanation for it. I like it just because it's unexpected, and I think it's like it comes back to like, I'm always surprised who gets the spotlight win basically with this series.
I see.
And I would think that I would think the leader would just become like a running gag forever, and it wouldn't really matter. At the end of the day, Momo is the glue. If Ira wants to call herself the leader and Momo allows it, I think that's sweet. Like, I think it's like yeah, sure. I think Ira has many moments of like stepping up and being more like caring for her teammates when they get into very serious situations. I think she has a fun dynamic with a yet to be introduced character that is a very recent character in the manga, but she is definitely stagnated in terms of like the overarching story. Like, she doesn't have. Yeah. I think like she's also run out of stuff to do for the most part. But then, but she has some moments. She had a moment recently I really like. So.
Yeah, no, definitely. But yeah,
certain
also
basketball scene, I'll say.
Last thing that really irritated me was the scene where her clothes get randomly ripped open when they're fighting the music people. It really was like, we were so close. We were having so much fun.
She has such a cool petticoat jacket before that too.
No, it's just like, all right, yeah. I'm like, and it's like, because you can make all these arguments about like, oh, the series is about bodily autonomy, and we're constantly bringing up these themes, right? And
those
like,
moments, because that moment's like a one and done, and it's like, why is this?
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, because I feel like
Momo has a through line.
Momo has a serious one. Yeah, no, Momo like the Momo Evil Eye sequence has intention behind it, and it's like Gigi is playing with this power that is uncontrollable, and it makes him into someone who doesn't have control over himself. Right? You can apply many different ideas to that, and it feels purposeful, and it also adds to like the horror of not being in control of your actions, which is like Gigi's what he's going through at that time. The Ira thing is just there as like a quick cutaway, and it's like, why? Well, come on.
Yeah, like it doesn't build or add anything to her arc, which is like seems to be more to do with like getting over being delusional. And
I will say I do like the throwaway line she has with Momo when they're fighting the kaiju, and she's like, I hate fighting in my school uniform. Because that just feels kind of true to life, where it's like, yeah, it'd be really annoying to fight in a skirt. And I like that Momo gives a quick, like, me too, and that's just all you get.
Yeah, no, that's a nice acknowledgement, I think. But yeah,
there's so many panels of Ira, like, holding down her skirt with one hand and fighting, like, a monster in the other. And it's like, Sometimes I'm not a fan of that. Sometimes I think it's like fun composition or whatever. But yeah, it depends on. It's definitely scene to scene for me. There's still just a couple of Dandadan, S rank manga, but God, it's just a couple little things that tweak here and there.
A couple of
little things, but less and less, I think, as the manga goes further, with the exception of one character that we can't talk about. That I want to talk to you about.
We all know. We all know.
Ball knowers know.
I think that if they changed her outfit in the anime, we don't even gotta read the manga anymore. It's just a fixed series. I think
they changed slightly a different character's outfit at the end of this season.
Yeah, this isn't a spoiler. The alien, this is shown in it was like she had like weird cutouts on her like hips that they're just like, this is like a little purple mesh thing that's a little bit baggy now. It's like, even the. Because it's like based on the Evangelion plug suits. I'm like, even the plug suits were like full coverage. You know what I mean?
Well,
I think
her outfit's more like what the plug suits themselves are based off of, which is more like pulp, like comic covers, basically, like 20s and 30s, like space age, what have you. Because that character with the antennas, believe it or not, might be an alien. But I still that part of her design is not my favorite. That part of this other character that we can't talk about is not my favorite for sure, and really kind of like throws a wrench in what is otherwise a really interesting story. But
I can give this alien character a lot more pauses than that other character. I'll just say that much.
We'll get to that in season 4.
Cannot wait.
Can't wait.
I will say I just need more of the show animated because it's just so beautiful. It's really good.
It's pretty.
Like editing fan cams of it and stuff, like I've really just been like looking at it frame by frame, like, man, I love this. Human characters, unfortunate tropes here and there, but overall a good show to watch. Sam, I like Dandadan.
You like Dandadan?
Yes.
Was this a good recommendation?
This is a great
Personally, I would have given it an S, but I can't unfortunately rank it, as you know.
You know what?
What?
I think that I think that like this is the only time I can do this because I think like there's gonna be stuff that annoys me in season 3 and 4 probably. So so I think I'm just gonna have to. And if you're like, but Mel, what about the problematic elements of it? Well, understand that I've lost all control of my body and become evil. So
there you go.
I guess I'm just gonna have to give this one a big ol' Sam.
I thought there was no question you were gonna do it, considering how much you love Gigi.
This is how I show my love.
I understand.
Yeah, no, I love Gigi.
Well, here's a question. Here's a quick question for you. Having now experienced everything about Dandadan up to the point that it's out currently at the time of this episode, is this the strongest part of the? Is this the strongest part of the whole story?
I think that the next arc is probably like the culmination of all of this stuff in a way that feels really strong to me. I think that there are future arcs post that I also really like. I think that it's a little. I think that we were talking bad to the, or I at least definitely was talking bad to the people overreacting to the most recent chapter. But I think part of that reaction is that like it's a little unclear like where we're going right now. Like there's just not as the through line is a little bit more like, and it's hard to say how I would have felt like reading the earlier chapters week to week, because I don't think I would have. I feel like I might have like been like, what are we doing? Like maybe a couple points, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think that like
I want to spoil stuff so badly. We've got to give me your recommendation so we can get off the air and just
we're gonna get out of here.
We gotta get out of here because there's so much cool stuff happening with Dandadan. You don't know, person watching this. You have no idea. But Dandadan, it just keeps going, and they just keep doing stuff, and it's often I think really good.
Read the Dandadan manga, everyone. I think that we should catch up on it. I think we could easily do a podcast episode on it, but we'll have to see. Like we'll have to look at release dates of certain stuff to figure out when we want to like pop that cork. But yeah, there's a lot to talk about, so I will not keep you in suspense any longer. So I've foreshadowed this recommendation several times on the podcast already. I've told you about it off air because we have a weird recording schedule this time. The Summer That Hikaru Died, another series that aired simultaneously with Dandadan. We're going to the gay side of anime this time.
We are the heart stomper of Lovecraftian horror manga, they used to call it.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I still have only watched up to episode 3. So I will be binging the rest of it this weekend. I decided I wanted to wait to get it all at once because I don't want to keep myself in suspense. So, but yeah, from what I've seen so far, very interesting, exciting, cool show that's been coming out.
And we're watching season 1 of the anime. I said the manga a minute ago, but yeah, just to be clear.
Yes. Season 1 of the anime that has just finished airing. So now we're an anime podcast, and that's
Halloween.
what we do. And yeah, happy trick or treat, my little.
Are we an anime podcast now?
I want to evil eye. I want to make.
I
you
want to
end
evil
your life.
Have a good morning, Mallory.
Have a good night, Sam.